Do you know anybody who looks wealthy but is miserable? And do you know anybody who may appear to be poor but is happy and at peace on a daily basis and has probably got a lot of money? In this video, we're going to show you why looking poor, especially in your 50s, can be very important. Let's start with number one, the illusion of more. Many people think that if you have more money, you're automatically happier, but that simply isn't the case. They chase success as many people define it, and they think success is like lavish lifestyles, instant gratification. But what ends up happening is they can have some anxiety and some emptiness in their life. Comparing yourselves to others is often a thief of joy. What you want to do is look at what others are doing right and try to apply those to your own situations, but also realize the progress you've made in the past as well. They talk about this in the book Gap to Gain. The gap which you have looking forward, but also the gains you've made looking backwards as well. Now, getting back to the area of misery, a study has been done and they asked people, what level of wealth would you be most happiest with? And almost every respondent said it was nearly 2.5 times their net worth, no matter what their net worth was. So, money doesn't always lead to happiness. Which leads us to the second point. You only get so much time, so much money, and energy. Use them wisely. Once you spend it, it's gone. It ain't there no more. And that's why we got to be very mindful of how we're using the stuff we've got. It's not what you earn, it's how you spend it. I've seen people making 6-figure living and living paycheck to paycheck. I've seen folks who are broke as hell but rich in their heart, and they are happy no matter what happens in the outside world. Now, that may sound a little weird being a finance channel, but that's the truth. The difference is not really about how much you can earn, although that can be part of it, but it's more about what you do with it. More income doesn't necessarily fix bad habits. So what you can do is figure out what really matters to you and focus your energy, your time, and your wealth toward those things and start living a life of much more warmer, fulfilling success that lasts a long time. Let me give you an example of how you can have more intention with your money. Let's suppose, for instance, that you're making $200,000 a year and you're spending close to $200,000 a year, and you get a raise. Let's say it's $50,000. What you can do, maybe you can increase your lifestyle by $20,000. Take that $30,000, build up a cash buffer, or invest it. And what you end up having is a little bit of cushion to be able to maneuver, financially speaking, to be able to reinvest in your finances, or you can outsource some of that money and have somebody else do work for you around the house. Let's say in my example, I don't really like doing yard work. And so I like to pay somebody to do my yard work so I can spend more time with my son and my wife. Or I can use that extra time to reinvest back in my business. And so as you go up in levels with money, taking some of that money and reinvesting that in a way that gives you more time, energy, peace of mind, and financial stability, so when the world gives you a little bit of rain, you don't get as wet. What you can do is start by asking yourself the question, what does success really mean to you? For me, success means doing the things that I love, spending time with the people I love and care about, and living a life of purpose. And the purpose for me right now is helping you make some good decisions with your money. What really tells you where your priorities are is your calendar. Take a look at it. In the book, The 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom, he talks about life's razor, the non-negotiable things that you're willing to do and not give up. For instance, I am a guy who coaches my kids' softball games, or I am a man who is always going on a date night with his wife once a week, no matter what. So finding out what those things, those non-negotiable things are to you and sticking to that. When you do that, all the rest of life falls into place and you get the most important things done. So what ends up happening when you have priorities in order, when you start making more and more money, you can reallocate your money in a way that gives you more protection of the life that you truly want. Instead of chasing your tail, and as you make more and more money, you're spending more and more money on things that really don't matter. Now, I'm not saying you got to live like a monk today, but there's a balance to strike. Enjoy the fruits of your labor? Great. But also don't sacrifice your future just to trying to keep up with the Joneses. A little sacrifice now can go a long way toward building a better tomorrow. Make sure you take a look at the big picture. Start asking yourself some of these hard questions because you're making decisions now on a daily basis that can not only affect you in the future, but also take away from your moments that you have with the people you know and love and care about. Reason 3, live a life that you can be proud to look back on. Obviously, you don't want to be the richest person in the graveyard. I got to tell you, I've seen too many people work their fingers to the bone their entire life only to end up in the graveyard and really leave a lot of life on the table. Now, I don't know about you, that doesn't sound like a lot of success to me. Here's the thing, we only get one ride through this life, and you want to give it your absolute best shot. And so what kind of story are you writing today? What does your heart really want? And if you had all the money in the world, what would you honestly do with your time? Now, does it mean you're going to fly private jets around the world? Maybe not. Maybe that might not be realistic. But what you may be able to do is take trips with your family and do other things that are more intentional. Here's the $1 million question. Why wait? You might not be here tomorrow. So taking advantage of these things now. There's a study done with people at their last stages of life, and what they found was this. They wish they let themselves be happier. They wish they spent more time with their kids and grandkids and their friends. So when you reflect back on your life today, think about the people that you could spend more time with and the things you could do with them. Because it's not really the kind of food you eat, but it's who you're sitting with at the table. So you see, life isn't always just about the money. It's about the meaning. And that meaning is what's important to you. And of course, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We've all taken the wrong turn or two, in some case 5. But right now, today, you have a choice. And matter of fact, you got a choice every single moment. You can start aligning your decisions with what really matters to you. Forget about what everybody else is doing and what they're thinking or what you ought to be doing. Or heck, even what I'm mentioning to you now. Build a life that honors your values, not someone else's expectation. Take the courage to be able to make these decisions that matter to you, because believe me, it's worth it. At the end of the day, it's your story is what lives on. Don't spend your years collecting more stuff just for stuff's sake. Spend them collecting more moments that matter, make you smile, bring tears of joy, move your heart, and fill your soul. Now, if you're sitting there saying, all right, I'm ready to get serious about my money, my time, my future, then I got something special for you. Go on, check out our other video, Brutally Honest Retirement Advice. I can call it brutally honest because I don't sugarcoat anything. It's just the bullet points. Take care of yourself, and I wish you well in the future.